is help you transition from being a quote-unquote salesperson, which we all know there's nothing wrong with. As the old saying goes, nothing
Testing.
happens until someone sells something. But how do you transition from that to more of a consultant type basis, where the person truly feels that you are there for them? You are there to help them do their business better, to help them be more productive, as Ray was alluding to earlier. So how do you go about doing that? This is just one example, folks. Do with it as you will in whatever profession you happen to represent. But obviously, for today's purposes, I'm going to make it focused on royalty. When you get that opportunity to sit down with a person and actually present to them, I want you to begin by asking questions. Asking questions. In my field, a good friend of mine, his name is Stan Walters, actually another royalty customer, and he's down there in the Tampa area. He's on the national board for the National Speakers Association, but for over 30 years, he quite literally wrote the book on interrogations for our intelligence forces and special forces around the world. 30 years, he's taught all kinds of law enforcement intelligence agencies interrogation techniques. And the one thing Stan will tell you from the get-go is in an interrogation, if you are doing more talking than the other person, that's not an interrogation. You're doing too much talking. It's the same thing in sales. If you're the one doing all the talking, that's not truly a sales presentation. What we want to do is transition that and transition you to be more of a consultant. So how do you do it? You begin by asking questions. So when you sit down, sure, have the person, first of all, tell you their story. What got you into this business? Why did you buy this franchise? What transitioned you from the corporate world into what you're doing today? Tell me your story. Because the one thing everybody likes to tell is their story. So have them tell you their story. Sit there, listen, but mentally, if not physically, take notes. Then what I want you to do is say, well, listen, obviously I'm here today, in Royalty's case, to talk to you about your marketing. But I still have some questions for you. I'd like for you to kind of tell me some of the marketing activities that you're involved in right now. And this is where you literally take out a piece of paper and you write down that word in one column or on one sheet that says activities. Activities. And it's important to say that rather than just marketing. Reason being, most people do a lot of things to market their business in activities that they don't consider to be marketing. Ray alluded to one a while ago when he talked about networking. I'm amazed when I sit down with someone and say, well, tell me some of the marketing activities you're involved in. Oh, they'll talk about Facebook ads, they'll talk about Google ads, they'll talk about all these different things. And I say, really, is that it? They say, well, I think that's it. Okay, you belong to your local chamber of commerce. Well, yeah, Jeff, I do. Why did you join the chamber? Oh, so I could get my business known and build up referrals. So that's a part of your marketing. How much, or I don't even get to that point yet. Sorry, I jumped ahead of myself. So that's it, Chamber of Commerce. Do you go to any other networking groups apart from the chamber? Oh, yeah. So all of this stuff, I'm writing down in that column or on that sheet that says activities. Do you go to trade shows? Oh, yeah. Or business expos? Oh, yeah. I get them to really do the mental exercise that my guess is, and it's certainly been my experience, they have never done before. So start writing all those activities and have them looking over all the activities that they participate in. It's going to be an eye-opening experience for most business owners and managers who have never, ever, ever, and I've seen this, never given that thought before. So you make that list of all the activities that they're involved with and just feeding them things in case you feel they're holding back. It's not that they're actually holding back. They've just never thought this way before. So you make that list of all the activities that they're involved with to market their business. Got it? Okay. Here comes the fun part. Now you either make a second column or a second sheet that shows investments. So every line of every activity, now once you go across the column or across to that page, and for every line that you had an activity, I want you to help them establish a monthly dollar figure for their investment. Now be careful. Notice I use the word investment, and that is incredibly important. Why? Two reasons. Because it is an investment. It's something they're investing in their business to market their business to realize what we refer to as an ROI, return on investments. That's why you don't want to use the word expenses, because we don't refer to an ROE. We refer to an ROI, return on investment. So you want them, is also giving a nod of the hat to them saying you've invested in your business. You these activities, those are investments in your business. But now let's put some dollar figures. And some of this, they may come across, well, geez, I mean, how do I evaluate my Chamber of Commerce activities? I'm sorry, how much did you pay for that Chamber of Commerce membership? Oh, roughly, Jeff, I paid about $500. So broken out over 12 months, you're paying what, roughly? $40 a month. Yeah. Okay, on that networking group that you go to every week, what is the cost of that breakfast or lunch? Well, it's about $10 a week. So there's $40 a month there. You see what I'm doing? Every line, I'm taking it across and actually attributing that activity to a monthly expense or, in their case, investment. I'm making sure that they start seeing the parallel from activity to investment, activity to investment, activity to investment. I'm building my case. It's a case that they, at the end of this, are going to greatly appreciate. So once you've gone through all that, you've got the list of activities. You've got now costs associated with those activities, a la the investment that they're putting into it on a monthly basis. And if they give you pushback going, well, I mean, why are you asking me the cost? I'm honest with them. I said, because what I want to be able to do is see if there's a way that our service can actually come to you at no additional cost, no additional monies. Now you'll probably have them intrigued. Oh, so this may not cost me anything? That's my goal. But we've got to do this proper analysis first. Okay, now they're buying into a little bit. Once you've done that basic homework, now you can present your opportunity, your product, your service to them, because now they're fully engaged. They've told their story. They've engaged in the activities, the marketing activities and the marketing investments, something they've probably never done before. You've already opened their eyes. Now they're not only their eyes are open, so is their mind to hear what you have to say. So now you present. Once you've done your presentation, rock star you are, now what you're going to do is you're going to circle back to all of those activities and say, now listen, every business owner, we've all got things that we've made investments in that over a period of time we realized weren't really giving us the ROI we were expecting. So I want to go through this list of activities. Let's say the activities. Which activities are you really not seeing the level of investment or ROI return that you thought you would? And I've had people bring up Google Ads. I've had people bring up Facebook ads. I've had people bring up that Chamber of Commerce membership. I've had those things. And here's the deal. I say, listen, I'm not going to tell you to stop doing anything. But what I'm trying to see is if there's a way that some of these activities where you're not seeing your return on investment, we can just shave off a little bit here or there. If you were going to that networking group that you're really not getting a lot from, and you're going 4 times a week at $20 a week, could you shave off $20 there? That particular, and I had this happen with a guy who was paying $500 a month Google Ads and really was only seeing 2 prospects a month from it. I say, can we shave off maybe 250 there to do an apple-to-apple comparison? What I'm doing is I'm helping them identify things that so that what happens is when you look at what they need to do, maybe it's $87, but maybe it's $167, maybe it's $320. I've sold accounts over $500. I've got a couple pending right now. They're going to be over $1,000 in a single subscription. But the way I was able to do it is justifying it by moving those things around, helping them identify in their own mind the things that really weren't working that would allow them to free up monies to try something new. And that's the gist of this. That's what you're doing. You're just helping them identify what they kind of have thought themselves, but never really done the mental exercise to execute. So that's the whole idea, is you're just going through developing the activities, the investments. Now you're presenting, and now you're circling back to help them identify themselves something that they're comfortable with, shaving here and there to try something new that will mean they don't have to spend any new monies. Congratulations, you are now a consultant. So that's how this works. I've got about 2.5 minutes left if there are any questions, and I'm going to pitch it back to either you, Richard, or Cheryl, and see what you guys have by any questions that came up while I was presenting.
Well, I've got a couple. First of all, Jeff, thank you. As always, you are just a no BS guy. You know, obviously you're a professional, speaker, and you do that naturally. But what I appreciate more than anything else is, there's none of this motivation stuff. It's just like no BS. I love that. That's really awesome. I got things
what does Justin constantly tell us? Let the data speak for itself. Numbers don't lie.
So just use the numbers.
Yeah. No, I completely get it. I'm looking at comments here. They're more just comments. Love Jeff. He gives the real thing, no fluff, no BS. Except they said it the full spelling, not just the. Oh my word!
Oh, yes, they're cotton socks.
Nice, very good. Awesome.
I'm just glad I didn't follow you and Mark this morning, because I would have had to break out my Queen's English in order to follow up with you, Jeff.
And actually, you're one of the very few people who actually do a very good impression of our accent. But no, I'm not seeing questions so much, Jeff. I'm just seeing really great comments. And so if you had any signing off, I really love the light bulb lamp you have there, Jeff. I've got a comment on that.
I do this because it inspires my bright ideas.
Guys, don't get Jeff started. He is the pun king. Please don't get him started. That is just so funny.
Two things I'm known for: puns and hats.
Well, guys, yeah, keep your eyes open for Jeff. Jeff is always on our Gem Junkies calls that we do. I know he contributes on the Royaltie Facebook pages as well. Jeff, thank you very much as always, and thank you for being my sponsor. Thank you for introducing.
Thank you for actually signing up, and thanks to Nathan Gunnup, who is my sponsor as well. I appreciate the opportunity just as much as anyone else.
Fantastic. All right, guys. Thank you very much, Jeff. And onward. All right, guys. Well, as I said, remember I said there's going to be no breaks and no lunches. So I just went and got myself a sandwich and a banana there. So, that's kind of, practicing what I preach. We're at home, right? My kitchen's just over there. So, all right. So we're right up to 525. The numbers are growing. Which is great. Thank you very much. Felice, thank you very much for fielding all the chat and the emails as well. And there are some questions in there that I will get to when we get to a little bit more time, but I do want to make sure that we move on. But guys, so far, are we getting value? Oh my God, are we getting value? And variety. I don't know what you guys are expecting. Right. I mean, but I've been to trainings, but the variety we've got right now with body language, with the stuff that Jeff's talking about. Obviously, Ray is renowned in his industry. Fantastic information. If you want to just post in the chat, so Jeff, Justin and Cheryl can see how much you're enjoying what's going on here. Please do so. Personally, I'm blown away. As I say, I'm writing notes here like crazy. But anyway. We need to move onward, and also I want to get to my sandwich. So with that, our next speaker has been involved in the network marketing industry since the age of 20. He not only talks the talk, or should I say talks the talk? No? Okay, I won't do that. I'll go back. He not only talks the talk, he walks the walk, and his leadership team developed an organization of over 60,000 distributors and $120 million in wholesale product sales in less than 4 years. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. He is known throughout the industry for his unified, duplicatable training systems and programs, including Confessions of a Network Marketing Millionaire and The Power of a Dream. His basic philosophy is, if you build people, people will build the business. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Dale Calvert. Okay.
I am unmuted. Can you see me?
I'm just having a look right now. I can hear you, but your camera's not on, my friend. Let me see if I can turn your camera on for you. Okay, I've sent a message to you to say.
There we go.
Okay, there you go. Wow, you're even better looking in person. Over to you, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I sincerely appreciate the opportunity to be here. All of you that are watching, your time is the most valuable asset that you have. And I don't want to take 1 second of it for granted. I sincerely appreciate you being here. You've already heard some tremendous training from a lot of people on how to get your message into the marketplace. You're going to hear more all day long. What I really want to do today, and I think hopefully will be the most valuable for you guys, is just get down to where the rubber hits the road and really talk about, here's where you are. We're all in unique, different places right now, but we're all in places that we've never been. And the real question in my mind is when we get down the road 5 years and we look back at this time and place, what did we do with this unique time and place that we had in our life? Because most of the time we're never going to get to this kind of place where we can really stop, think, plan, get better, improve, and take our actions to a new level. Because when we come out of all this, if you're the same person that you are when you went into it, then you missed it. This is a unique chance for personal growth, personal development, taking your business and your mindset to a completely different level. You know, and I was talking to somebody last week out of the U.S., and we were talking, and I said, look, everybody's blaming this virus for their lack of production, but the reality is most of them weren't doing anything before it happened. So I believe to thy own self be true. I'm asking permission to get down to where the rubber hits the road, because I believe in my life as I go down, there's a couple of times that I was at a crossroads, and if I had went down another road, my life would have turned out a lot different. Maybe worse, maybe better. And I believe a lot of people are at a crossroads right now. So I really want to lay it out. And the first thing I would do if I were you watching, I'd say, who is this guy? This country talking accent. Who is this guy? Why should I listen to him? I mean, I think that's an important question we should always ask. Who is this person? Why am I listening to him? Because a lot of people in this profession just end up buying the wrong philosophy. And, you know, I'm from a little town in Kentucky, population 400. I was a 20-year-old snot-nosed kid, didn't have a clue what I was doing when I got involved in this profession. Didn't have a clue. My sponsor quit 2 weeks after I started. I didn't even know what an upline was. But I got a list and I could order audio cassettes. And I was ordering audio cassettes from all these different events that were happening all over the world. And it was about the time that Sony came out with a Walkman. And I was able to go to my job that I hated, but I could listen to audios for 8 hours a day. And I did it every single day, trying to figure out how do you do this? How do you really make this work? And such a wide variety of different tips and ideas and skills, and it was confusing to me. But after about 3 years, things started to come together, and it got real simple, real simple. And, you know, so I decided to take everything that I'd been putting in my brain and try to simplify it and just make it as easy to duplicate as possible. And when I did that, after 3 years of just struggling and wanting to quit every day, the next year I was one of the top 5 in that company. The next year, 2 of the top 5 were in our organization. I was able to leave my job, and that's been a long time ago. But that whole concept of unified duplicatable systems just propelled me. It took me 9 years to get to $92,000 a year in network marketing. 9 years of hard work. But my 10th year it jumped to 252,000. My 11th year it jumped to 1.1 million. My 13th year it was 3.2 million. My 14th year was 3.8 million. And in my mind, that's the way it should happen. If this business really is based upon duplication, then when you get to 6 figures with royalty, you should have a team coming right behind you that are right behind you that they'll get to 6 figures, and the people behind them who are getting started correctly and launching their business right. And you should have just a group of people coming down the road, all going towards their dream, their reasons for being involved in the business to begin with. That's the way, in my mind, this should be built. It should be built with boom, 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 and people coming down the road together, and not everybody in your group out here trying to find the magic foo-foo dust. So the basic philosophy that I have is your long-term income in network marketing, your long-term income in royalty, and how much money you're going to make for the time, energy, and effort that you put in is based upon one thing: the number of leaders that are developed on your team. We're in the leadership development business. If you're involved in network marketing, that's the game. Distributors come and go. It's a revolving door. They're in one door and out the other. But developed people that you build, developed leaderships stay. So that's what I believe. I've taught it for 25, 30 years. I believe it. I understand it. It haunts me because we make this too difficult. This is not difficult. How do you win? X number of people exposed equals your reasons fulfilled. Now, how do I become successful in network marketing? You're going to have to communicate to a certain number of people before you're going to get where you want to go. Well, what's that number, Dale? I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. But we all know you've got a number. It's the law of averages. And what we do is we get so bound up. Well, I need to do it the way this person does it. Well, no, you need to get in front of people. You're looking for the right person at the right time in their life when you're building a team. Everybody on here, there's been a time when you would not consider being involved with royalty. Not because royalty is great or royalty is terrible. It has nothing to do with royalty. It has to do with the timing in that person's life. You can, a couple of weeks ago, we could walk around the mall and we see all these people that are involved in crazy businesses that make no sense. How many small business owners do you have to talk to and they're thinking, man, my employees make more than me. I'm sitting here in the mall making cookies every day. I'm not making any money. My employees are making more than I am. How did you end up in that business? Because my window opened, I was looking, I was searching, and this was the first franchise that I sent away for information pack on. They called me and I opened a cookie franchise. I've had those stories for years and years. So we're getting ready to move into a culture down the road where the concept of working at home is going to be stronger than it ever's been. I believe that. I see that. Everybody that I speak with. So for you to get from where you are to where you want to go, it's not that difficult, but it doesn't happen like that. There's no magic script. There's no magic foo-foo dust. You've got to get in front of people, but you got to understand and stop and think, okay, this is where I am. This is where I want to go. And right now is a great time to be doing that. Where are you really? What have you really done the last 5 years? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Because if you continue to do what you've always done the way you've always done it, you're going to get where you want. You're going to get. You are going to. And that's the way most people spend their life. It's amazing to me. And I think now's the time where people can really say, you know what, I'm in a crossroads. This is what I've done up to this point. But my past doesn't equal my future unless I want it to. And maybe I want to change directions now. Maybe I want to start to learn more now. Maybe I want to start to find the right mentor now. Maybe I want to just make some changes. And in this business, guys, it's real simple. It's real simple. There's 5 core systems or fundamentals that you must master, not get good at, not know about. Well, Dale, yeah, I've heard about that. Okay, well, hearing about it, so what? Knowledge without action leads to self-delusion. Knowledge without action leads to self-delusion. So there's 5 key things. Number 1, until you know why, the how doesn't matter. Why are you with Royalty? Why are you here? What do you really want? I believe network marketing and building teams gives average people with above average desire the opportunity to create wealth. To create wealth. If you want to make a few hundred extra bucks a month, there's many ways to do that. But network marketing is very unique because it gives average people, it gives a kid, snot-nosed kid from Stamping Ground, Kentucky, population 400 in my town. That's where I grew up. Didn't even have a stoplight in the town. It was just like growing up in Mayberry, for those of you that have seen the TV show. But in Stamping Ground, our town drunk was named Andy, and our sheriff was named Otis, and that's the truth. So that's where I came from. I struggled, like I said, for 3 years, didn't have a clue what I was doing, but I was listening to those audios, man, and I was learning from people. And I stopped and I realized, okay, here's the deal. Your long-term income is in direct proportion to the number of leaders that are developed on your team. How do you develop leaders? Well, leaders are developed like a franchise, like a Starbucks, like a McDonald's. They're developed very systematically. You find the right person that wants to be the manager of the McDonald's, and you put them on the front counter, and they learn how to do the front counter, and they learn the scripts. You know, would you like fries with that? And they learn it, and they master it well enough to teach somebody else. And then they move them to the drive-through window, and then they put them in the back, and they're making the Big Macs, and they're making the sandwiches, and they're learning how to run the French fryer, and then they learn how to keep the whole complex clean. And it's a very systematic, step-by-step approach where once they've gone through this, then you can hand them the keys, and they can run their own McDonald's successfully, but more importantly, they can teach other people how to do it as well. So that's why I believe in unified duplicatable systems, because what we've become is, when network marketing was started, it came out of the personal development movement, the personal growth movement. That's how it started. People like Les Brown and Jim Rohn and Zig, and the list go on and on. It was about building people. It was about helping people get their mindset right, helping people create the confidence that they needed to be able to move forward. And that's where this industry came from. And then what happened, we got away from the core foundation on which we were built upon, and we started looking for what I call the foo-foo dust. The magic funnel, the magic this, the magic that. And, you know, we all heard, those of us were around, you know, the internet, we used to have 97% failure rate. Now the internet's going to give us 97% success rate. And we got so far away from the core fundamentals on which this business model was built upon that it's just, it is what it is. But that doesn't mean that those business models and that whole concept is not valid. It's more valid today than it ever has been. And, you know, people call me, well, no, you're just old school. Well, you know, my wife and I operate 4 different businesses. We have 11 employees and outsourcers we work with. Network marketing support services is our bread and butter. It's been our bread and butter forever. But we have other businesses, and in those other businesses, the products, we market